Good morning, dear students. Today I brought the another revision lecture on the calculation part of the hardness by the EDTA method. As we have learned the EDTA method of the determination of the hardness, it is also called the complexometric titration because it is a volumetric analysis. In the previous revision lecture, we have seen that EDTA is a polydentate ligand which form the stable complex with the hardness causing ions, that is calcium, magnesium, as well as the heavy metal ions. And we have seen the buffer solution is very much required in the method to maintain the pH of the solution. And how much pH we have to maintain? The pH nearby 10 is to be maintained, and the indicator used, that is EBT indicator. After performing the experiment using the EDTA indicator and the buffer solution, we have the following readings. Now we go for understanding the calculation part. So in this lecture, we should learn how to calculate the hardness by EDTA method, what the experiment we have performed. It involved the following steps: the standardization of EDTA, determination of the total hardness, then the determination of permanent hardness, and lastly the determination of temporary hardness. And the examples. What is the learning outcome of this lecture? The students will be able to understand about how to calculate the hardness by the EDTA method, including the standardization of EDTA, determination of the total hardness, then the permanent hardness, and then the temporary hardness with the various examples, so that he can able to calculate any kind of the hardness present in the sample, as well as he can able to compare the hard water samples, and as per the application required, he understand which kind of the water can be used in that application. So let's start how to calculate the hardness by EDTA method. It involved the first step, that is standardization of the EDTA. And we all know the pure EDTA we do not use in the experiment. Why? Because the pure EDTA has the limited solubility. We always use disodium salt of EDTA. So the EDTA disodium salt which is used in the experiment, it should be standardized. How it is standardized? It is standardized with the help of standard hard water, SHW. SHW means the standard hard water. The standard hard water means the water whose hardness is known to us. So if we say 1 ml of the standard hard water is containing capital X milligram of the CaCO3 equivalent hardness. This is known. We have prepared the standard hard water in the lab. How it is prepared? We just mix the calcium salt in the water and it becomes hard. So 1 ml of the standard hard water is having capital X milligram of the CaCO3 equivalent hardness. The hardness is always expressed in CaCO3 equivalent, we have learned. Now, this is known to us. We just take a specific volume of standard hard water for the experiment. Suppose we have taken Vx ml of the standard hard water. Vx can be 5, Vx can be 10, any volume you have taken for the experiment, the standard hard water, take it. Now perform the experiment. As we have learned, we add the buffer and then we add EBT and then titrate it, end point comes. So we see at the end point V1 ml of the EDTA consumed. So we have taken for the experiment Vx of the standard hard water whose hardness is known. In 1 ml the hardness is present capital X milligram of CaCO3 equivalent. And we have performed the experiment using Vx ml of the standard hard water, and for that how much EDTA is used, that is V1 ml. So if I am knowing that in 1 ml capital X hardness is there, so in Vx ml, in 1 ml capital X milligram of hardness is there. In Vx ml, how much hardness is present? It is very simple. If 1 ml of the standard hard water is capital X milligram of hardness, Vx is having Vx multiplied by capital X. Simple. So this amount of the hardness is present in Vx ml. Understood? Now, if we calculate this hardness comes in V1 ml of EDTA. Now, if we want to calculate 1 ml of EDTA is having how much hardness capacity? So it comes Vx into capital S, this is here only, upon V1 milligram of the CaCO3. So for 1 ml of EDTA, this much of the hardness is used. And this value is assumed as A for simplifying. So whatever we are calculating in the standardization of EDTA, what we get, the value we are getting A. A is what? A is this Vx into capital X upon V1, that 1 ml of EDTA capacity we have determined. That is known as standardization of the EDTA. Clear? So if you are using disodium salt of EDTA, or you have to go for the standardization first before going to calculate or to determining the hardness of the water sample. The next step is the determination of the total hardness. Now we can take any kind of the unknown hard water sample whose hardness to be calculated. So for that we have taken Vy ml of the hard water sample. Vy ml means you can take 5 ml, 10 ml, any volume of the hard water sample, and perform the experiment by adding the buffer solution EBT and then see the end point. Suppose V2 ml of the EDTA is consumed. We know by the standardization that 1 ml of the EDTA has the capacity of forming the complex with a milligram of the CaCO3 equivalent hardness. So how much V2 ml of the EDTA has the capacity? V2 into A. Then we go for the calculation for 1 ml of the hard water sample. This we have calculated for Vy ml. Now we go for the calculation for 1 ml. So 1 ml of the calculation can be V2 into A upon Vy, milligram of CaCO3 equivalent. Now hardness unit you have learned, that is milligram per liter. It is not per ml. So we go for determination for 1 liter. 1 liter means 1000 ml. For 1000 ml of the hard water sample, we go for the calculation of hardness, that is V2 into A upon Vy into 1000 milligram of CaCO3 equivalent, and this is called the total hardness. Understood? This is the calculation. V2 into A upon Vy into 1000 gives us the total hardness of the water sample. Clear? Now the third step we should understand, that is determination of the permanent hardness. As we all know that the total hardness we have determined, but the hardness are of two types, the temporary and the permanent. And we also know that temporary hardness can be easily removed by the process boiling. So after calculating the total hardness, if we allow the water sample to boil and then filter and then cooled, okay. So after the calculation of the total hardness, we boil the water, filter the water and cool it at the normal temperature. And then again take its volume. Suppose we have taken Vz ml of boiled water. We have done the boiling, then filtering, then cooling. After that we have taken that water, boiled water. And how much volume we have taken? That is Vz ml. Take again the boiled water volume, perform the experiment again and see how much EDTA is required to consume. That is V3 ml of EDTA. We know that 1 ml of EDTA has the capacity of A milligram of CaCO3 equivalent hardness. So V3 is having V3 into A milligram of CaCO3 equivalent hardness. Then we go for the calculation. 1 ml of the boiled water contain V3 into A upon Vz milligram of CaCO3 equivalent hardness. Again, we should represent the hardness in milligram per liter. Means we have to determine in the 1 liter, that is 1000 ml of the boiled water contain V3 into A upon Vz into 1000 milligram of CaCO3 equivalent hardness. And this is called, this calculation we have done, this comes out for the permanent hardness, because temporary hardness by boiling it is removed. Only which is left out in the water, that is permanent hardness. As we have determined the total hardness and the permanent hardness, so the fourth step can be easily determined. Determination of the temporary hardness is indirect method. As we all know, the total hardness is equal to temporary plus permanent. So if we want to calculate temporary, we have determining the total as well as permanent. So we just subtract the total hardness to the permanent and we get the temporary hardness of the water sample. So all the four steps gives us each one type of the hardness calculation. Let's see the example. 1 gram of CaCO3 was dissolved in dilute HCl and the solution was made to 1 liter. Okay. In the lab, 1 gram of the CaCO3 is taken. First of all, it is dissolved in dilute HCl, and then it is make up to the 1 liter of the water. Now 50 ml of this solution require 40 ml of EDTA solution, while 50 ml of the sample of the water require 20 ml of EDTA. You have to read the question very properly for the calculating the hardness, because you have to select the correct data from the given question. Okay, when we perform the experiment in the lab, you have done this in the lab also. So we go for the observation and do the calculation there. But in the numericals, when the data is given to you, first of all, you have to read carefully the data and then go for the calculation. That's why I'm reading the question. Calculate the total hardness of the water sample. In this question, you have to calculate the total hardness, and this is given to you. 1 gram of CaCO3 dissolved in HCl and made to 1 liter. 50 ml of this means this solution you have made. Required 40 ml, while 50 ml of sample water required 20 ml. This is given. So let's see the solution. The standard hard water, it is taken and prepared in 1 liter. How much it is dissolved? 1 gram of CaCO3 dissolved. So we have seen in the first step in standardization, we have to bring the standard hard water in 1 ml of the water sample. So it is given in 1 liter. You have to convert it in the ml. So if we convert it, 1 liter means 1000 ml is having 1 gram of the CaCO3 hardness. If we convert in 1 ml, it can be 1 by 1000 grams. We always take in grams? No, we take in milligrams. So this grams value should be converted into milligrams. So in 1 ml of water, if we convert in milligrams, that is 1 by 1000. In 2000, it comes 1. And this is the value of capital X. 1 ml of the standard hard water contain how much hardness? Capital X milligram. And what is the value? 1. 1 comes. If the standard hard water, it is given like this, 1 liter containing this grams, you have to convert it into the 1 ml into the milligram. This you have to convert it. Now, how much volume of the water it is taken of this water, that is Vx. Vx is taken for the standardization, that is 50 ml, and for that EDTA is V1, that is 40 ml. So standardization, what is the formula? 1 ml EDTA is Vx upon V1 into capital X. We put in the formula the value of Vx, V1 and capital X we know. Vx is 50, V1 is 40 and X value is 1. That comes the standardization step. Understood? That is 5 by 4. Now the second step comes the determination of the total. You have to calculate in the numerical the total hardness. The sample water is taken 50 ml. So Vy become 50 for the second step. And for that the EDTA required, that is 20 ml. So put in the formula. The formula comes for the 1000 ml. Understood? For 1000 ml means 1 liter. That is V2 upon Vy into A into 1000 milligrams. So V2 is 20, Vy is 50, A value is 5 by 4. We have put this 5 by 4 into 1000 and we solve it and we have the answer. 500 milligram per liter, and that is also set to be ppm. That is the total hardness of this water sample. Only total hardness is asked in this question. So this is completed. Now let's see the example 2, and you can have with your copy and pen and ready to solve the question. 100 ml of the standard hard water containing 1.5 milligram of pure CaCO3 per ml. Okay. So here you have your standard hard water and how much it is, 1.5 milligram per ml. Per ml means in 1 ml. Means it is given 1 ml is equals to 1.5 milligram and the value of capital X is 1.5 milligrams. Simple. It is there given according to what we require here. We always require the quantity of the standard hard water in milligrams and it should be taken in the 1 ml. So it is given. So you can have the standardization with this capital X. Now what is the value of Vx? How much Vx is the volume of standard hard water. You can able to see here that is 100. So Vx is 100 here. Now for that EDTA is V1, that is 44 is V1 and you can calculate Vx upon V1 into X, means 100 upon 44 into 1.5, that is 0.034 milligrams. So that is the standardization. Now the rest numerical you can read it. 50 ml of the water sample consumed 20 ml of the same EDTA using EBT. Now you have taken the 50 ml of water sample and again performed the experiment and 20 ml of same EDTA is used. Again you have to calculate in this the total hardness. So what it becomes, the 50 that is the value of Vy and 20 that is the value of V2. The second step. So the total hardness is V2 upon Vy into A into 1000. What is the value of A here? We have calculated 0.034 milligrams. Then put the value all 20 by 50 into A value into 1000 in milligrams per liter of ppm. It come, that is the total hardness is 13.6 milligram per liter. Now you have the example number 3, and that is again you have to read out the question, take the copy and pen and try to do. 0.28 grams of the calcium carbonate dissolved in HCl and made to 1 liter. Means here the standard hard water it is given in 1 liter, 0.28 grams. Now 100 ml of this above solution required 28 ml and 100 ml of hard water sample required 33 ml of EDTA. Now this sample goes on boiling and after boiling 100 ml of this water on cooling, filtering and then again titrated require 10 ml of EDTA. Calculate each type of hardness in ppm. Means you have to calculate the permanent also, temporary also, and for the temporary you want to require the total hardness. So whole calculation steps involved in this example. In the previous examples you have only 2 steps because first you go for standardization and the second determination of total hardness. Now in this example, you have to calculate each type of hardness. So as I have said, in 1 liter, that is 0.28 grams, you have to convert it into 1000 ml. How much grams it is there? The hardness 0.28 grams. For 1 ml, you have to calculate, that comes 0.28 upon 1000, and it comes in grams. You have to convert in milligrams. So milligram, it comes 0.28 upon 1000 into 1000. So it comes X value 0.28 milligrams. So that's the value of capital X. Now we can put it in the formula standardization. What is the value of Vx? Vx is given 100. V1 is 28. Vx upon V1 into X, that comes A value. A value is 1. So standardization is done. Value come 1. Now you go for the determination of total hardness. What is V2? V2 is 33. Have you read the question? Vy is 100. Then you go for the calculation V2 upon Vy into A into 1000. It comes the 33 by 100 into 1 is the value into 1000, that is 330 milligram per liter or ppm. That comes the total hardness. Now for the permanent hardness, the water is boiled and now again it is taken 100 ml, that's the value Vz. What's the V3 then? It is 10 ml. What's the formula? V3 upon Vz. That is 10 upon 100 into A value is always 1. Here the 1000, we have the 100 ppm is the permanent hardness. So temporary can be determined 330 minus 100, that is 230 milligram per liter or ppm. So you have all type of the hardness determination in this example. So it's very easy, as well as we have the reliable and the accurate results by this method for the hardness determination. We have used many other methods previously for the determination of the hardness, but this method is quite accurate, easy to perform. We have the chemicals available in the lab to do the experiment, and it can be easily determined. And each one kind of hardness is determined by this method. So we have seen the various examples based on this EDTA method. You practice more questions, and if you have any problems, see the video again. Understood? Till then, take care.